Good day. How are you? Good day, CJ and CW and Denise and Maria. Hope you're all well. I know things are changing across the world, and I think ultimately it's going to be for the better because you have to get out the pus before you can start to heal. If you want a gross thing in the morning to think about. But our prayer advances and the numbers that we have that are growing, and those praying the Rosary 150, as that increases, so will the cleansing. So keep it up. And the more we become closer to the Trinitarian Theophany, that also helps things out. I've got a couple ideas for tomorrow for Free for All Friday. It's maybe I'm going to put a couple of ideas out. You guys can let me know what you think, if you want to hear one or the other or something totally different. But I was thinking of what a Catholic monarchy would look like, or what is communism, since I know you all know, mostly those who are watching live, but there may be some young viewers who were basically taught communism in school, like they're doing now, as a good thing. So that's another topic. I might need a little more time to prepare for that one if you want me to do that one. But yeah, and anything else that you can think of, feel free. So I've got a little bit long one this morning from St. John of the Cross, but it's important, I think, to try to get a grasp of that infusion and why it is considered a dark night on this spiritual, soulful progression of towards closer union with the Trinitarian Theophany. So let's get right to it. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostri, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany and humbly adore the Divine Family in Catholic contemplation. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thy infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves in our sufferings up to the Divine Family. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, O Trinitarian Theophany, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of God the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dea matronum nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea matronum nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended thee, my God. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea matronum nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. In a dark night. This dark night is an influence from the Trinitarian Theophany upon the soul, which purges her of her ignorance and habitual imperfections, natural and spiritual, and is styled by contemplatives infused contemplation or mystical theology, wherein the Trinitarian Theophany teaches the soul in secret and instructs her in the perfect love, all act on her part being limited to fixing her attention lovingly on the Trinitarian Theophany, listening to the Trinitarian Theophany's voices, and receiving the light the divine family sends, without knowing what manner of thing this infused contemplation is, inasmuch as it is the benignant wisdom of the divine family, the which works particular effects upon the soul. For by purging and illuminating her, it disposes her for the union of love with the Trinitarian Theophany, where this most loving wisdom herself, which purges the spirits or the souls of the sanctified by shining on them in their brightness, is she who now purges the soul and illuminates her. But the doubt presents itself. Why does the soul apply such a term as dark night to the divine light, which, as we say, illuminates and purges her of her blindness? Whereto it is answered, that in the respect of two considerations, this divine wisdom is not only night and darkness for the soul, but also pain and torment. The first is by reason of the altitude of the divine wisdom, which exceeds the comprehension of the soul, and is therefore dark as night to her. The second, because of her own baseness and impurity, and therefore it is to her noisome and grievous, and also dark. In order to prove the first, we must surmise a certain doctrine of the philosopher, who says, being the Trinitarian Theophany, who says that inasmuch as divine things are of themselves more clear and evident, so much the more are they darkness too, and naturally hidden from the soul. In the same way, the pupil of an owl eye sees less and becomes the more contracted in the light, the more brilliant it is, and the more boldly she looks into the eye of the sun, the more is her power of vision darkened, if not entirely extinguished, the light being too excessive for her weakness. Hence, when this divine light of contemplation seizes upon the soul, which as yet is not entirely illustrated and illuminated, it shrouds her in spiritual soulful darkness. For not only does it transcend her powers, but also obscures and deprives her of the action of her natural intelligence. And this is the cause why San Dionysius and other mystic theologians call this infused contemplation a ray of darkness. This is to say, for the non-illuminated, an unpurged soul, because the natural strength of the intellect is vanquished by its supernatural and stupendous light and bereft of the action and the intellectual energy which belongs to it. That darkness and cloud surrounds and encompasses the Trinitarian Theophany, not because it is actually so, but by reason of our weak perceptions, which, unable to reach heights so sublime, are confounded and blinded by so immense a light. The thick clouds were pierced by reason of the great splendor of the Trinitarian Theophany's presence, that is to say, between the Trinitarian Theophany and our mind. And this is the reason because when the Trinitarian Theophany emanates from itself to the soul, which is not yet transformed, this translucent ray of the Trinitarian Theophany's secret wisdom envelops the understanding in deep clouds. And that this obscure contemplation is also at first painful to the soul is evident. For, as this divine infused contemplation possesses many excellencies supremely noble, and the soul which receives them, as she is not yet fully purged, is held back by many miseries. Hence it is that as it is impossible for one subject to contain two opposites, the soul perforce must suffer pain and agony, she being the substance in which these two opposites are contained, which struggle one against the other, by reason of the purgation from the imperfections of the soul, which is accomplished through this contemplation, the which we will prove by induction in manner following. In respect of the first, since the light and wisdom of this contemplation is extremely clear and pure, and the soul whereon it sees is dark and impure, hence it is that it is most painful to her to receive it, like as when the eyes, as if they are bleared and diseased, are hurt and injured by the striking on them of a radiant light. And this agony of the soul, on account of her impurity, is immense, when in very truth this divine light reverberates upon her. For when this pure light shines upon her to the end of expelling her impurities, she feels herself so impure and wretched that it seems to her that the Trinitarian Theophany is against her, and that she has become the Trinitarian Theophany's enemy, the which is such torture and affliction to the soul, since now, indeed, it seems to her that the Trinitarian Theophany has cast her off. Why hast thou made me thy enemy, and I am a weight and burden to myself? For as the soul now clearly sees her own impurity by means of this clear and pure light, although she is in darkness, she clearly perceives that she is unworthy of the Trinitarian Theophany and of all creatures whatsoever. And what torments her most is the fear that she will never be worthy, and that all her gains are forever destroyed. The cause of this is the profound immersion the mind is plunged into in the knowledge and recognition of its own evilness and baseness. For now this divine and obscure light sets it all before her eyes, that she may clearly see that of herself she can have nothing else. In respect of this iniquity didst thou chastise man, and madest his soul to consume, even as the spider tears out her own bowels. The second way wherein the soul is afflicted is by reason of her physical and soulful weakness. For, as this divine contemplation seizes upon the soul with a certain force, to the end it may gradually fortify and tame her, so deeply is she afflicted in her weakness that she almost swoons, particularly when sometimes it seizes upon her with somewhat greater force, because the sense and soul, like as they lay crushed beneath some immense mysterious weight, suffer torments and agony so great that they would fain choose death itself as being a mitigation of their pain. For in the strength of this weight and oppression, the soul feels herself so far from being in favor that it seems to her, as indeed it is, that even that wherein she was wont to find some support has failed her with the rest, and that there is no one to take compassion on her. O mighty, marvelous, and pitiful thing, that the weakness and impurity of the soul should be so great, that the hand of the Trinitarian Theophany, being of itself so benignant and so tender, she finds it now so harsh and heavy, although it be not laid nor placed upon her heavily, only touches her most gently, and this in mercy, since it does so in order to shower upon her favors and not chastisement. Okay, we're going to stop there for today, and tomorrow talk of other kinds of torment the soul suffers in this night. I hope we can grasp some of this understanding of the darkness, which is light, and the way that we think we understand things, and we just can't grasp how far we are from that perfect union. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, oremus. O God, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc maculatum, hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus offerio tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro enumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus Catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et illis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitati tem mirabilitur condiditi et mirabilius reformasti da nobis, peruhus aquere mestium, eius divinitatis, esse consortes qui militatis nostrae, fieri notis es patriceps. Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivet et reinat in unitati Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem, salutaris tuam dapacantes clementiam, ut in conspecto divine majestatis tue, pro nostra et totius mundi salute cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contritus suscipiamur et te Deum Iesum Christum, et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum et conspectu tuo hodie uplaciat tibi Deum matronum nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni, Sanctificator. Veni. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificit, obrata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini preparatum. Suscipe, Sancta Trinitas, concobulationum, quam tibi afferemus, ab memoriam passiones, resurrectionis, et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Dei matronam nostri et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dininter in celis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis, ad laudem et gloriam Domini sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, sursum corda. Habamus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te icitu clementesimi mater pater Deum matram nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostre supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta, habeas et sanctificas, hic sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primis quid tibi afferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodiri, aronare, et regere, digneris toto orbe terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deam famalorum tuarum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie and Gage, Mindy, Clarette, Mark Jr. and Casey, John Cahill, Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Anne Bultink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Lori, Aaron, and family, Jenna, Lena, Maria, and the Lineweber family, the Dosco family, the Nye family, the Tafur family, the Began family, and the Wolf family. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, and any kind of human trafficking, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange, with no usury and an end to all practice of Satanism. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of the society to make this come about. We ask that quote-unquote gay marriage be banned and a return to traditional holy families. We ask Deum matronam nostre et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document of the Vatican law, which is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. And we ask you to release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus and send those demons back to hell. We also ask you to block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO, which is based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We ask Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to save or transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel. We We pray that families are strong in their natural lives, that they learn to live independently as much as possible within the family structure, so that they are not reliant upon the Jewish network of control, which would include electricity and food and whatnot. Let's help our neighbors, get to know them, and share our gift. All these things we ask in accordance with God's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium, quorum tibi fidis cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel qui tibi afferunt, hoc sacrificium laudis proces quisque omnibus, pro redemptione anomarum suarum prospe salutes, et incolumitatis suae, tibique redunt vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis, gloriose semper Deum Matram nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Beatorum martyrium tuorum, Papae, Sancte Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum, quorum meritis precibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectiones tuae muniamur exilio per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabulumque figeri dineris sub nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi Filium Tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens. Consecravit, fregit, dedique, elune, suis dicens, accipite et manducate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est, accipiens, et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit, dedique alumni sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, equod est cumque feceritis meum non facetis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustem Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostre, tam beate passiones, nec non et ab infelicis resurrectionis, sed et in celos gloriose ascensiones offerimus, preclare majestate Dei tuis donis actatis, supraque propitio ac sereno vultur respicere digneris. Supplices te regamus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi hec perferebe manus tuum ut quod, ex hoc altaris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium Tuum, corpus et sanguinum subsenimus, omni sanctificatione celesti et gratia repe amor, per innum Christum Deum nostre. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for James Cogan, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum, et omnibum in Christum, quiescentibum locum refugere lucis et pacis, ut indulge est per amor, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Perquem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis e prestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotente in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Deum Matronam Nostrae, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis praeteritis praesentibus, et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dea Matronam Nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitios pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae Tue aduiti et a peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eundum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum, Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivet et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et quoque apote, ecum extio, et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat cipientibus nobis in ad salutam aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apote. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deam Matronam Nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem Tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum, Tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me Tui semper in harare mandatis, et a Te numquam separari permittas, qui cum eo Deam Matronam Nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam, perceptio corporis Tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sum repressimo, non mihi proveniat in judicium a condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi a tutum et mentis corporis, et ad me delam percipiendum qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum Matronam Nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum Matronam Nostrae non sunt dignius, ut intercedete meis in tantum errores ab anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, ut intercedete meum, sed tantum errores ab anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, ut intercedete meum, sed tantum errores ab anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meum. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum, pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem, salutaris accipiam, et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deam Matronam Nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvos ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod ore sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus et immunere, temporale fiat nobis remedium sempiternam. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpsi et sanguis quem patere feceribus meis apresta, ut in me non remeniat scelera macula quem pura et sancta reficere sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins, and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, ite mise est, Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitudis mei e presta ut sacrificium, cor oculis tuae majestatis igninus, obtuli tibi setat tabade miquiet omnibus, pro quibus illud obtuli, sit te miserante propitiabe per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. So, I thought something very interesting was the way. on the website, ourladiesgod.com, On Point has a post to a Rumble link video, and it's really, really quite revealing. A rabbi or another a Jew quotes a rabbi about Jesus and how he is so thrilled that Christians, this is the Jewish Jesus, that Christians worship one of their own, the goy, as he calls them. So I recommend you watch that video and share it, because it's really eye-opening, especially for those who have a hard time with Christmas. There's some interesting points in there. Hello, Peter, how are you? Thank you very much. And let's see. I wish I could scroll back, but my program here doesn't allow me to scroll back down. And we have another, oh, thank you, Korea. Awesome, from Korea. And it doesn't translate for me either. I'm sorry I don't speak Korean, or read it for that matter. Boy, I've got a lot to learn, don't I? Don't we all? Welcome, and thank you for being here, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And it's Free for All Friday tomorrow. So again, like I said, post your comments now, because I might not read them later, in the comment section, not on the chat, just because it comes up easier for me to read the comment sections. Plus, it helps spread the word if we comment. So like I said, I got the one video that went a little bit viral. It's not even viral, but there's a lot of comments on there, and it helps. All right, please go and sanctify all those who you meet. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.